Hi. My mom keeps telling me that in some way ego is important for, well, I guess she means survival, but she says to live on, so...
She said what?
She says to live on, or to kind of get a life which is not poor and disappointing and depressing.
Right. So that's good. So the thing is, there's a lot of confusion about the word ego because the word, it means different things to different people. So your mother probably means, self-confidence, a strong sense of self, a strong character, belief in yourself. Right?
Yeah, I guess.
Huh?
Yeah.
So she's right. She's right.
So is a strong character and self-confidence, is it ego or isn't it?
No, not at all. Not at all. That when I'm talking about the ego here, I'm speaking about a very specific expression of ego, which is narcissism. Are you familiar with the word narcissism, Daniel?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So narcissist is someone who is always admiring their own reflection in the mirror of their own mind.
Right.
See my point?
Yeah.
So that would mean, like, for example, if it was you, it means you would just be adoring, you see, and in love with your own image, the own image that you have of yourself in the mirror of your own mind. And your relationship to life would be based upon fulfilling the desires of that image that you see in the mirror.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
So a narcissist is someone who's in love with themselves, and they're more in love with themselves than they are with anyone else, than they are with life, and than they are with, or they are with God or truth.
Okay.
Can you see that as being maybe problematic for an individual who wants to evolve beyond ego, who wants to become one with God and the authentic self?
Yes.
Yeah, because they're more in love with their own image, and they're more invested in their own image than they are in God or truth. Right?
Yeah.
So that means their relationship to life, therefore, is going to be an expression and a manifestation of the fears and desires of their narcissistic self-infatuation. Their whole life is going to be an expression and manifestation of that, not of the evolutionary impulses in the way we've been talking about it. Do you see my point?
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason why ego is a problem here is because this narcissistic self-infatuation takes us in a completely different direction than the direction we've been speaking about all week. But so when I'm referring to ego here, I'm not referring to what your mother's referring to. I'm referring to this, the irrational need to see the self as being separate, and the irrational need to. So the ego is this impulse that motivates children and adults to kind of do things and to strive in ways so the self can see itself as being separate and superior, or even in some cases inferior to the others, but always some way to see ourselves as standing apart from, right? So in egoless consciousness, you're aware of everything that's happening, but your motive is not to see yourself as being separate, right? You're aware of yourself, you're aware of the other, you're aware of the others, you're aware of the context. But there's not a strong motive that's driving you to take actions that will allow yourself to see yourself as being separate. And as I was saying yesterday, some expressions of narcissism a lot of them are about being able to see yourself as being superior to other people. But some will also be actions that will allow yourself to see oneself as being inferior, a loser, someone with a special problem. But even if you speak to a loser or someone with a special problem, you'll start to find out that even in their unworthiness, they also feel superior to other people. So this impulse to see the self as being separate from and superior to is what we're talking about here. Okay? So when I'm talking about ego, it's the irrational compulsion to see oneself as being separate. What would a human being be like? What would we all be like, being the person we are right now, free from the energetic compulsion to see the self as being separate from? So when I'm talking about ego, that's all I mean. I'm not talking about having a strong and positive sense of self, having a quote-unquote strong character. A belief in yourself or self-confidence is a good thing, and that's not necessarily ego in the way that I'm using it at all. So I don't disagree with your mother. It's just that the specific definition of ego I'm speaking about applies directly in relationship to the potential for enlightenment, which is evolution beyond ego.